research after a serious injury. Call the husband and wife law team first.
Hey, it's Phil Shaver with HomeSmart, and I want to buy your house. I'm a local investor that buys homes for cash all over Maricopa and Pinell County. I buy inherited homes, nice homes, rental homes, homes that are behind on mortgage payments, and I even buy ugly homes that need fixing. Also, are you looking to get closer to market value for your house? As a licensed realtor, I've been able to buy and sell thousands of homes. Since I'm local, you can call me directly on my cell phone, 480-409-9999. Again, that's 480-409-9999. I don't work for a big corporation or hedge fund, so I can only buy 3 to 5 homes per month. There are no fees involved, and you can pick your own close date. The best part is I buy homes as is, so you don't have to worry about doing any repairs. Again, you can call me directly at 480-409-9999, or you can go to my website, gosoldaz.com. That's gosoldaz.com.
You won't believe everything I just saw. I went to Disneyland, and it was the 70th celebration. First, I went to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live, and I danced with Goofy. I even got Dad to do the hot dog dance. He's not bad, actually. At night, I saw this parade. Everything was glowing. There were all these lights and colors. Sorcerer Mickey was there, and Lightning McQueen. Oh, then I went to this giant water show with all the Inside Out characters. And I was like, whoa. And then my parents were like, whoa. Oh, and guess what? Bluey and Bingo are coming for real life.
Make memories that last a lifetime during the 70th celebration. From Paint the Night Parade returning January 30th to World of Color Happiness. And with Bluey and Bingo coming soon. Happiness is everywhere at the Disneyland Resort. Visit Disneyland.com for details.
Nothing can stop us now.
Hi, I'm Aaron, founder of Custom Deluxe Windows. Wishing everyone a wonderful holiday season and an extra special thank you to the brave men and women in our military. If you need new windows or doors, call Custom Deluxe Windows today.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
Ah, yes, the Monday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan is over there on the other side of the glass. He is ready to take your phone calls today. 480-864-1060 is one way for you to join us here today on the show. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel, where we are live streaming the show as well. I am fired up today on a Monday. Fired up to talk about what we saw yesterday on the football field. Fired up to get you ready for another Suns game tonight. The Diamondbacks, I don't want to say a splash, but they've gotten involved in the offseason here for Major League Baseball. We'll touch on that. And the latest surrounding Sam Leavitt and his future for the Arizona State Sun Devils. All of it today here on the show. But we start with where I said we would start on Friday. I predicted this. It went exactly how I thought it was going to go. We start with another embarrassing loss for the Arizona Cardinals against a divisional opponent. Another loss in which they allowed 40-plus points to an opponent. 3-14 now, Jonathan Gannon is against the NFC West. Yes, we start with the Cardinals.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
You're going to hear a lot today. Probably heard a lot of it yesterday in the aftermath of the game, especially in the second half, because I saw it out there on social media. A lot of excuse making for why the Cardinals lost yet again in blowout fashion to an NFC West opponent. Why again they allowed 40 points or more to an NFC West rival. And you're going to see the excuse that gets laid at your feet. Well, they were missing their starting quarterback. They were missing their RB1 and their RB2. They were missing their wide receiver 1 and their wide receiver 2. They were missing all of these offensive linemen. Paris Johnson left the game with an injury. You're going to hear that. You're going to see that on your timeline today. Why? Because I saw it yesterday. I saw it happen in the second half of the game. A list of all of the key injuries that the Cardinals faced yesterday. And I'm not saying that those didn't have an impact. Yeah, your offense looks very different when you have 3 different offensive linemen in there than normal. It's very different when you don't have James Conner or Trey Benson in the backfield. It's different when you don't have Marvin Harrison Jr. and Zay Jones out on the field. I get it. I get how it can impact a team's ability to win football games. The Arizona Cardinals should still be able to compete. The Arizona Cardinals have been without their running backs all season long, so it shouldn't really be an issue. They should figure out how to run the football against teams like the Rams, against teams like the Seahawks, against teams like the 49ers. And I use those 3 games because those are the last 3 divisional games in which the Cardinals allowed 40 points or more and got blown out. Uncompetitive. Cardinals started the game. You're feeling great. They go on a drive. You're up 7-0. And I was ready to eat crow. I was ready to come in here and say the Cardinals did it. They showed the fight. They battled. They were right there for the upset. Perhaps they would have completed the upset. You felt like with that opening drive that they were game. They were prepared. They were ready to go. And they were going to give the Rams a fight. That's why they play all 4 quarters. Because it very quickly turned. The Los Angeles Rams scored on every single drive in the first half. Every single possession for the Rams ended in points. Not a single stop for this defense led by a defensive-minded head coach. Couldn't get one stop in the first half. Scored the first 7 points and then got absolutely run over for the 3.5 quarters after that. Uncompetitive. Didn't belong on the field. Got out-coached. The adjustments that the Rams made. The lack of for the Cardinals. And the analogy that I want to use today, because you probably have both of these people in your lives. You probably have stories about these 2 people in your lives that I'm going to jog your memory about when I give you this analogy. Because I have the 2 friends in this story that I'm about to tell. You have the one friend that when you make plans, whether it's you're getting together at somebody's house, you're inviting them over to your place, you're going out somewhere, maybe you're trying to put together a golf tee time, whatever the case may be, the time that you tell that person, hey, we're getting together over at Billy's at 7 o'clock tonight, or hey, I'm going to get that tee time. Does 7:30 a.m. work for you? You know, because you've known this person for a long time, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. They're going to be on time. They're going to be punctual. They're even going to be early. That 7:30 tee time, that dude's out on the range at 6:15. He's there the moment the golf course opens. He's hitting balls. He's ready to go. We're getting together at Billy's at 7 o'clock, 6:55. He's ringing the doorbell. He's punctual. He's on time. He makes sure that he's got his stuff in order because he told you, he committed to you, I'm going to be at these plans. He or she, they're going to be at these plans. Everybody's got that friend. You know right now, you set up something for later in the week. You invite Billy, Timmy, Tony, whoever you invite, they're going to be there and they're going to be on time. So if you set those plans for Friday, you're all going over to Tony's, and 7 o'clock rolls around and Billy's late. And Billy's never late. Billy's always on time. Billy's always there. He's there before you are. You beat Billy. What's going on? Billy shows up 5 minutes late. And he goes, man, I just got caught in traffic. Because Billy in the past has been punctual, because Billy in the past is always on time, you give him the benefit of the doubt. You know that that is just a one-off. It is the exception to the rule. Then there's the other friend. There's the friend that you set a time and you know they're going to be a half hour late. So after a while, you start bumping the time back a half hour, knowing what time that person's going to be there. You know everyone's getting to Tony's at 7 o'clock. He's going to be there at 7:30. Richard's going to be there at 7:30. He's not getting there at 7 o'clock. And over and over and over again, he's always late. That's Jonathan Gannon. Jonathan Gannon is the friend in this story that is always late. I'm not willing to give Jonathan Gannon the benefit of the doubt the way I give Billy the benefit of the doubt when he's late for the first time. There is no resume. There is no cachet of Billy always being on time for Jonathan Gannon. What has Jonathan Gannon done in the now nearly 3 years that gives him the benefit of the doubt? He's always late. He's always not there on time. These types of games against the NFC West always happen. 3 times in a row, you've been completely embarrassed off the field by a division rival. So I know everybody on social media yesterday wants to talk about all the players that they didn't have because they want to make excuses for Jonathan Gannon. And yes, they were missing players. I get that. I'm sorry. I am not going to allow excuses to be used for somebody that, quite frankly, doesn't deserve to use excuses. He shouldn't be allowed to use excuses because he's been healthy in the past. This roster has been healthy in the past. They've had all of those guys. And you know what? It still hasn't mattered. What happened in the second half last year? What happened in the beginning part of this season when you had Kyler Murray, when you had Marvin Harrison Jr., when for the first couple of weeks you had James Conner, when you had Trey Benson? What happened in those weeks? You weren't on time for the party then. You were late again. Those fourth quarter collapses happened with some of the guys that you're now complaining they had to play with yesterday. You had leads in the fourth quarter with those guys. You had leads in the fourth quarter with Jacoby Brissett. You went into Dallas, won with Jacoby Brissett. You won despite James Conner and Trey Benson being on the shelf. You won with Zay Jones down. You won with Marvin Harrison Jr. down. You've competed. You've had leads in the fourth quarter with those guys on the shelf. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give the benefit of the doubt to somebody, to a group right now that doesn't deserve it. A group that is now 3-10. A group that is now 3-14 in 3 years against their division rivals. And guess who they play in the final week of the season? A Los Angeles Rams team that, with the way things are going right now, that feels like it's going to be the game that decides if the Rams can be legitimate Super Bowl contenders or not. Because it feels like that's a game where if they win, they are going to have the 1 seed and all roads are going to go through California. If they lose that game, with the way Seattle's playing, with the way Green Bay is playing as of late, you're talking about that game being the difference between being the home team throughout the postseason or potentially needing to go to Chicago, going to Green Bay, going on the road, Philadelphia, these cold environments where we've seen in the past they've struggled. That game is going to matter to them. I can tell you right now, the Cardinals are not going to show up to that for that football game. They're not going to be able to show up for that football game because they didn't show up yesterday. The moment things got tough yesterday, they folded, crumpled up. At the end of the show, I take the rundown, I crumple it up into a ball, and I throw it in the trash can. That's what the Cardinals did. In the middle of the second quarter, they were done. Over. Easiest 1-point play of my life yesterday, the Rams minus the 8.5. Didn't sweat it at all, even with the Cardinals scoring on their first drive. Didn't sweat it at all. Couldn't get a stop in the first half. Every Rams possession ended in points. So I know everybody wants to point out all the players that the Cardinals didn't have yesterday. I'm not going to go there. Because that excuse is afforded to somebody who has a resume to where you can point to and say, man, if they had that group, they would be fine. We've been doing this for 2.5, nearly 3 years now. There isn't the resume. It's not there. So my question today, and it's going to be pointed at you, the listener, you can't answer this question. It's pointed to the people in that building in Tempe, in that building in Glendale. Are we really going to let this continue? Are we really going to get to the end of the season? Because this team's on pace to go 3-14. They're not winning a game if they play the way they played yesterday. And if they're checked out already, the rest of this month is not going to be pretty, ladies and gentlemen. The rest of this month is going to be ugly. It's going to have a lot of games like yesterday. Are we really going to get to the end of this season at 3-14 and look everybody in the face and say, let's run it back? This is the right coach. This is the right GM. The roster, the depth that you put together. This is the right group of guys to pick the next quarterback, to identify the next quarterback, and to be given the opportunity to work with that next quarterback. I'm sorry. I broke up with these two a couple of weeks ago. Since then, it's the take has aged like a fine wine. It's gotten better. How can you continue to sit down on Sundays and watch this team play if you're Michael Bidwell and look at the product that's on the field and say, I've got the right guy at head coach. I've got the right GM. This is a well put together roster. And the only thing that went sour, the only thing that went wrong is they didn't have their guy at quarterback. Each passing week, it makes it harder and harder for them to say that out loud and for all of us to believe them. It was already difficult a month ago. It was already difficult 2 months ago. With each passing loss, with each passing performance. Is the only difference between that game yesterday and the Cardinals being competitive and potentially pulling off the upset of quarterback? Is that the only difference? You and I both know that's not the case. You and I both know that Jonathan Gannon is the 4th best head coach in this division, and there's a wide gap between him and the other 3. Yesterday just proved it. So I'm red hot today. I mean, I'm fired up. I'm annoyed. I'm ticked off because you can't keep selling me the same magical bag of beans and tell me that things are going to be okay when every week it gets worse. Every week it gets worse. Yesterday, worse than the previous week. Now a third consecutive loss to a division rival in which you've allowed 40-plus points. A defensive-minded head coach allowing 40-plus points is downright insulting. And oh, by the way, remember all those injuries I listed out? I didn't list any injuries on the defensive side, did I? I know they didn't have Max Melton, but Will Johnson was out there. And guess what? I don't mean to throw him under the bus. Will Johnson, Puka Nacua went up and mossed Will Johnson in that game. So you had a guy on the field that everybody thinks really great corner. Didn't matter. So it didn't matter who you have and who you didn't have. You were not competitive in that football game. And it is a alarming, concerning, troubling, whatever word you want to use. It is a absolutely terrible look for this team because they are going to try to run this back. They are going to try. I had somebody in the building ask me today, so does Gannon make it to Friday? And my answer was yes. I do not think they are, even after yesterday, I don't think they're any closer to making a move, despite every alarm bell going off. Sorry, I just ran right over what you wanted to say. Go ahead, Bruce.
No, it's okay. Would you like to go through the series the Rams ran yesterday?
Yeah, sure.
10 plays, 60 yards, field goal. That was the opening drive for them. 6 plays, 74-yard touchdown. 10 plays, 65 yards, touchdown. 7 plays, 92 yards and a minute and a half, touchdown. 24-10 in the half. They come out of the half, they get the ball first. 10 plays, 74 yards, touchdown. They didn't punt until the third quarter where they punted on back-to-back drives.
How about the 2 drives late in the game where they were both 1 plays, touchdowns?
I was going to say, yeah. So then you have the back-to-back punts. Both of those, by the way, pushed back due to penalty. Then you have a drive that ended the third quarter. 1 play, 31 yards, touchdown. Cardinals go immediately 3 and out, in which they gained 1 yard across 3 plays. Again, punt the ball away. Rams, 1 play, 48-yard touchdown in 10 seconds.
That's what your defense was able to do yesterday, Jonathan Gannon. The defense that you're supposed to be a master of. You're supposed to have a handle on that side of the ball. Yesterday's not supposed to happen to you. It's happened 3 times this season. That game's not supposed to happen to you. Yet yesterday was the 3rd time it's happened. And what makes it even worse is it's against your division rivals. I have a saying, I've said it on this program before. I believe there are 2 games where I don't allow a coach to use the excuse we were unprepared. I think it's a lazy excuse to use. I think if they go up to the podium and they say it, I'm out on them as a coach. The 2 times you can't tell me you were unprepared, the first game of the season when you basically have all summer or the entire month of August to prepare for that opponent, and coming out of the bye week where you have 2 weeks to prepare for that team. That's where you can't tell me you are unprepared. A close 3rd place on that podium is when you play your division rival, the team that you see twice a year and you see them every year guaranteed. You cannot tell me you are unprepared against those teams. I don't care that it's the first time you've seen the Rams this season. Wasn't the first time you saw Seattle this season. They still scored 40 on you. Wasn't the first time you saw San Francisco this season. They still dropped 40 on you in your own building. And now that's twice this season that has happened to the Cardinals at home.
In all seriousness, what team in the NFC do you think? I don't think they could beat the Giants with Dart right now.
Could they beat the Saints right now?
I was just about to say, Shuck looks good.
I don't want to do the rewind ahead of the rewind, but Tampa lost yesterday to the Saints.
Shuck looks good. I wouldn't take him against the Saints.
The Saints beat a Bucs team you couldn't be competitive with.
Washington?
That team's pretty bad.
That team
right now,
Washington and Atlanta are by far the worst in the conference, if you ask me. The Giants are 2-11, and they feel leaps and bounds better than both of those teams.
It's all code over on YouTube says that I'm in a blistering, boiling rage. I mean, wouldn't you be? Wouldn't you be?
Well, our next segment is really going to take you out of that rage. You're pumped up about this next one.
I got to tell you, that's a great. That's your way of subtly telling me to move on to the next segment without actually telling me to do that. Because yes, the Diamondbacks have made a move. They've made a splash, dipping their toe in the pool. We can debate on the other side how we want to classify it, but the Diamondbacks did make a move today. They have addressed one of their needs. We'll talk about the move that they made. You want to join the program, 480-864-1060, the phone number. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Do not worry. We are going to dive back into this Cardinals game as the show progresses because there was another troubling thing that happened in yesterday's game on both sides of the field. Both the Cardinals and the Rams showed you something that should concern you, which we'll get to a little bit later on in the program. You listen to The Lunch Break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Motley Crue, the return of the Carnival of Sins. September 16th, Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. The Crew celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carnival of Sins. Motley Crue, with performances by Tesla and Extreme. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Motley Crue, part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
I have a great idea.
Oh, boy.
Here it comes. Let's go caroling.
Don't wanna.
Gary, I love the holiday spirit, but this is a busy time at Alaskan AC.
Don't wanna.
Folks are calling for repairs. We have Alaska vacations to do.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, and that. I don't want to.
Oh, come on. Here, look at the sheet music.
This song?
Oh, I see where you're going.
It goes like this.
If you want your furnace to last all winter long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
Yes. Really get you in the spirit.
I'm not sure we should go door to door and
That's
sing.
a great idea. We'll go door to door and sing. A 1 and a 2.
If you want your furnace to last all winter long, with an Alaska vacation, it will always blow strong.
We'll get snowballs thrown at us.
People will have snow brought in just to throw at us.
You guys are on the naughty list.
I'm good with that.
Makes no difference to me.
Oh, Grinch. Schedule an Alaska vacation at AlaskanAC.com.
Jim, I'm here with your Run Report. Come to find out, the Detroit Lions are who we thought they are, and so are the Dallas Cowboys. The Lions are a playoff team. The Cowboys are not. And I feel like an idiot for ever thinking they were. Dallas's recent surge was nothing but fool's gold. Cowboys always gonna cowboy. And George Pickens picked a really bad time to revert back to Pittsburgh Steelers. George Pickens. When CeeDee Lamb went down, they needed Pickens to step up. Instead, he disappeared. Not my word, but his. And former NFL star Richard Sherman went even harder, lighting him up after the game. And Sherman's not wrong. How do you disappear in a must-win game with the season on the line, especially after your dude on the other side went down? How does that happen? Having the defense erase you is one thing, but making yourself disappear is entirely another. Then again, this is what I get for believing in this dude and this team. Never again. I'm Jim Rome. The holiday season is always more jolly with Prize Picks. Every sport, every play, every stat matters just a little more. On Prize Picks, you simply pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less, and watch your lineups light up like the holidays. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 in bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly.
Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. the Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alicio, live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The Diamondbacks made a move today, adding a starting pitcher to their rotation on a one-year deal. Michael Soroka, 1 year, $7.5 million. It can get up to $9.5 million with bonuses and incentives and hitting certain milestones. And it's the first of what we think is going to be many moves that the Diamondbacks make this offseason. And we know that their attention is going to be on the pitching side. And I will tell you, this is one of those classic dart throws by a team like the Arizona Diamondbacks, who you know is not going to be able to spend big money on Framber Valdez, not going to be able to spend big money like the Blue Jays did for Dylan Cease, not going to be able to spend big money on Michael King or Rangers Suarez, any of the big-name starters. Diamondbacks not going to be able to wade into those waters. And so what do? You take a dart throw on somebody that's going to slot in as your number 5 starter, right? So one-year deal. This is a pitcher who has never thrown more than 90 innings in a season in his career. Had a great year way back when. Hasn't thrown 90 innings since a great year way back when in 2019 when he went 13-4 in 29 starts with the Atlanta Braves. Was an all-star that year. Finished second in Rookie of the Year that year. Was top 10 in the Cy Young. Finished 6th there. Was excellent. 2.68 ERA in those 29 starts through 174 innings. Then got hurt in 2020. Only made 3 starts. Did not play in 21, did not play in 22, came back in 23, and since then, these are some numbers that you may want to look away from your screen. A 6.4 ERA in 6 starts in 23, a 4.74 ERA in 2024, over 25 games and 9 starts, and then last year, 2 teams. He started 17 games, pitched in 22 in total, and pitched to a 4.52 ERA with a 3-8 record. So let me tell you what's going on here. The Arizona Diamondbacks know they need somebody to round out their rotation. That's Mike Soroka. They also need to bet on underlying skills that they think with some type of plan they can get the most out of. And I will tell you that Michael Soroka, if you go to his StatCast page,
I'm a huge nerd.
There are some things there that intrigue me. Pretty decent strikeout rate, pretty decent barrel rate, meaning does a great job of limiting the opposing hitters squaring up the baseball, has a slurve that looks pretty good, uses that 35% of the time, also has a changeup and a sinker, so he's a 4-pitch pitcher. Let me tell you what I think this looks like and this feels like to me. The Arizona Diamondbacks at the trade deadline last year made it a priority to get young starting pitchers, something that we said that they should do at that deadline. Acquire guys that quickly, 26, maybe 27, could be members of your rotation. I think Mike Soroka is just holding the spot for somebody like a Cole Drake. I think Mike Soroka is going to be the guy who gets the ball every 5th day. And because it's only a 1-year deal, because it's only $7.5 up to $9.5 million, he's going to hold that spot until one of those pitching prospects that they got last year. And I'll use Cole Drake because it feels like he's the guy that's the closest. When Cole Drake is ready, Mike Soroka is just going to get moved to the bullpen and be a long guy. So he is, and I do not mean this disrespectfully, he is a placeholder. They don't think Cole Drake or the like are ready. Mike Soroka, we're going to pay you under $10 million a season. We're going to play in our end of the pool. We're going to get somebody who maybe with some tweaks can turn into a quality pitcher for us. And you're going to hold this spot for maybe 3 months.
I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's, you said it, throwing a dart at the dartboard for a team like the Diamondbacks. This is a move that makes a lot of sense, right? In 2020, Mike Soroka missed 2 seasons in 21 and 22 because he tore his Achilles. Mm-hmm. How often do you see that for a pitcher? Not that often. And that's your push-off leg. So he tore his Achilles on his push-off leg. The ERA has slowly been coming down since, obviously posted a 4.52 last year. But this is a guy who, let's face it, has dealt with a massive injury and has not been the same since. Diamondbacks are looking to recapture a little bit of that magic. And also, if they can't, and he is the 4-5 guy, I can use him in long relief. I can be the placeholder. It feels like a perfect signing.
28 years old, was a first-round pick, So he's on the younger side. But yeah, this is one of those low risk, a 1-year commitment, a low dollar amount, but super high upside. Whereas if Soroka can channel at least some of the magic that he had in 2019, where he had the 13-4 record with the ERA under 3, and you mentioned the ERA is slowly coming down. Is he starting to get his legs underneath him better, coming back from missing 2 years of baseball, not just rehabbing the injury, but missing 2 years of baseball and needing to adjust to what that is like, making that, reemergence back into the sport might take a little bit. So you want to write off his, 23 season because he only pitched in 7 games in 23. So you basically want to say that he, after getting hurt in 2020, didn't really pitch until 2024 because it's 10 appearances over 4 seasons. That's it. 10 appearances over 4 seasons since the injury. He made the 3 appearances in 2020, the 2 injured years, and then made 7 appearances in 23. So from 2020 to 2023, 4 years, he made 10 appearances, pitched in 10 games. So you want to say the last 2 years have been kind of reacclimating to the sport? Fine. And maybe they can strike gold. And if not, I think it's just a placeholder for one of these young prospects. When they're ready, they don't want to rush them. They want to go into camp not thinking that guy has to be in there and being aggressive with their promotion of that player, right? They want to make sure that player is ready. Having a pitcher like Michael Soroka on the roster allows you, if Cole Drake gets to camp and he beats Michael Soroka out, fine. If not, you have that pitcher on the roster that can just take that spot.
It's a little bit of cushion. Gives you some wiggle room.
It is a safety valve. It is something that creates flexibility for Mike Hazen putting this roster together. So, no. Is it a cannonball into the deep end of the pool? No. We're sitting on the side of the pool. We got a pina colada in our hands, and we have our feet in the pool. I mean, we're not doing a whole lot. We're not splashing in just yet, but it's something.
You're in the 30-minute waiting period after you eat,
right,
but you're right at the end of it.
Right,
You're in mid 29.
I just got done eating. I want to start getting into the pool, and so I'm just inching myself closer. Now, I don't know if we're going to cannonball in, but we may get into the water fully. We may fully submerge our body.
I think the water's a little cold.
Oh, it's
a little
right
cold.
Yes.
So I think you're gonna ease into it. Ease into what it is.
It is a good signing. It's an understandable signing. It fits with what we think this team's going to try to do this offseason. And it will be one of what I think is going to be a variety of moves, but a move that I like because I can see what the vision is. I can very clearly see what they're trying to do. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream as well. When we come back, there's a lot of action yesterday in the NFL, and this may be the hottest version of the NFL Rewind. If it's anything like the open of the show, the opening segment of the show today, I am red hot. I'm fired up about some games that were played yesterday. We'll recap it all next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
You're listening to the Jim Rome Show.
The Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number 1. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left, burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
Hi, I'm Emily, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where a small box with a burgundy bow will help you win the holidays. As an in-house designer, I love creating meaningful, fine jewelry gifts. Choose a necklace with a gorgeous infinity charm to symbolize your everlasting love. Or go for a personalized piece with an engraving, their zodiac sign, favorite color gemstone, or their initial accented with pave diamonds, because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Stop by or shop now at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
Right now at Del Taco, you can get 2 grilled chicken tacos for just $3. You hear that? That's the real sizzle of a real grill. At Del Taco, we freshly grill our marinated chicken right here in our kitchens. Not some factory far, far away. It's what makes our grilled chicken tacos a top seller for over 30 years. So come get 2 grilled chicken tacos, made to order for only $3. A real good deal we can all use right now. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah.
Price and participation may vary.
All the planning, work, and preparation for the holidays. Why do we do it? In the blur of life, we can take our blessings for granted, distracted by the noise and our own interest. We gather to slow down and reflect on what truly matters, time with loved ones and cherishing simple moments. We gather to choose gratitude. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us at Shields.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Learn Row, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Learn Row is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan gene, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
A lot of action around the world of football yesterday for us to recap. We call it the NFL Rewind. Your tour guide around the NFL, producer Evan. Where are we starting the Week 14 edition of the NFL Rewind?
We'll start in Atlanta, where things got out of hand in the second half.
You talk about a mega lock.
37-9, the Seahawks take it to the Atlanta Falcons after a 6-6 tie at halftime. They pulled away in this one and get their 10th win of the season, the 10-3 Seattle Seahawks.
It is an absolute war atop the NFC West. I mean, it elbows out everybody.
It is a war.
It is a war between those three teams. Yeah, I mean, look, you probably play a lot worse than you expect to in that first half. But great teams, and I think Seattle is in that category this year of being one of the great teams. They just know how to finish, and they just know how to keep their foot on the gas pedal to make sure that a 6-6 tie doesn't leave Atlanta in this game late in the fourth quarter. It wasn't even close at the end of the day. Easiest 3 points you're going to get all season.
Team with dramatically different records felt like they both played a must-win in the snow. The Bills edge out the Bengals 39-34 in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen was everything he needed to be down the stretch.
Were you thinking along with me, because we didn't text much yesterday, but I'm watching the game, they're doing the updates, and I'm seeing Bengals got a lead.
Yeah.
In the second half, Bengals are competitive. I'm like, oh, here we go. Bengals are going to win this game. They're going to pull off the upset. And Bengals are going to be back. We're going to be worried about the Bills. And then Josh Allen reminded everybody why he's Josh Allen.
And I got to tell you, though, these are the two best quarterbacks in the league, given, health for Burrow. He is fantastic.
He's great.
And you forget sometimes because he misses certain – he's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's really good.
And yesterday he was unbelievable. Again, 25 of 36 for 284, the 4 touchdowns. He had the 2 picks at the end. The Titans and Browns played an unexpected thriller. The Titans get their second win of the season in Cleveland, 31-29 win over the Browns.
We want to talk about the 2-point conversion? Not having Shedeur Sanders on the field?
You have to want. I mean, you were throwing, and I'll give Shedeur credit. Like, this was probably the best game. Not probably. This was the best game he's played since being in the NFL, and I thought he looked good.
Kevin Stefanski said today he's the starter for the rest of the year.
He's the starter for the rest of the year for good reason. 23 of 42 for the 364, 3 touchdowns, the 1 interception. He was good. He was really good, and I couldn't believe they didn't have him out there. They get too creative at times, and they did again.
Congratulations to the Tennessee Titans.
Congratulations to the Tennessee Titans, stacking up their second win of the season. Washington traveled to Minnesota, or did they? I don't know. It was 31-0 Vikings, and J.J. McCarthy didn't throw it much, but 16 of 23, 163, 3 touchdowns, his best game in the league. 4 complete quarters of J.J. McCarthy being a very competent NFL quarterback.
Right, what have I been telling you guys about J.J. McCarthy? This is a really good, solid, young quarterback. He just needs to have the opportunity to play. That's all.
Just needs to be healthy.
Right, that's what I've been saying all season long. No. This was a very impressive performance from J.J. McCarthy. He needed a performance like this, and if he starts to stack some of them together, I think it will allow Minnesota to kind of take a breath this offseason and not rush out there to go get somebody in free agency. So it's now about stacking those types of performances. The win, great to dominate, but J.J. McCarthy looking good, the most important thing of them all.
I got to say, I know you're a competitor in the NFL. You want to come back. It was a time to sit Jaden down for the rest of the year.
It might be.
I think you think about it.
I think you have some tough conversations.
The Dolphins traveled to New York.
We are going to have some
of
those tough conversations.
To take on the Jets.
Sorry, I was a little late on the drop there. My apologies.
And 34-10, the Dolphins beat the Jets. And I got to say, Mike McDaniel, I told you 6 weeks ago, he saved his job. His job is saved. They're 6-7. They're in the Hunt graphic. They have the same record as the Kansas City Chiefs. Think about where this team is compared to what they like. At some point, he deserves some credit for holding the locker room together.
It's true. Having the same record as the Chiefs and potentially being able to finish ahead of them would certainly be a milestone. Yeah, look, I mean, they scored on their first 3 possessions. They had 15 plays offensively on their first 3 drives. They scored on their first 3 possessions. They took a 21-0 lead. The only touchdown the Jets scored in the game was a special teams touchdown. Tyrod Taylor leaves this game. The Jets have to turn to a youngster, undrafted free agent, Brady Cook out of Missouri. And it went about as well as you would expect it to go.
Not good.
Not great.
The shocker of the day, and especially in the morning slate, the Saints travel to Tampa and get a shocking upset win, a 24-20 win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are now tied for the division lead.
Do you hear it? Listen, get nice and close to your radio, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear that? It's the Carolina Panthers coming for the NFC South. I mean, that's a bad loss.
Bang. They sat on their couch yesterday and became first in the division.
That's a really bad loss for Tampa. Like, you cannot lose that game at home. You can't. You got to beat Carolina twice now.
Yeah, if they split, Carolina will win the division.
So you just a bad loss to a New Orleans team that has not been good all season.
The Colts traveled to Jacksonville to take on the Jags, and the Jaguars got a 36-19 win. The story in this one, though, Daniel Jones tears his Achilles, and I feel horrible.
This would be like the Colts season now is like if in all of the Indiana Jones movies, he doesn't actually complete the mission.
Yes.
Because it's over. I mean, he tore his Achilles. He's going to be a free agent. They're not going to sign him to an extension now because he's going to miss most of, if not all of, next season. And they don't have their first-round pick this year or next year.
And you hate to put a number on it. It feels like he lost $100 million.
What did Baker get originally in Tampa? What was it, like 100-something?
Yeah, something like that.
Feels like, it's probably what he would have gotten. Jacksonville, though.
Jacksonville rolling right now, 9-4, atop the division, put up 36 on the Colts. It's not always pretty. They win a lot of football games, and they've beaten some good teams.
Speaking of not always pretty, are you going to talk about Steelers-Ravens next?
I don't know what game you watched. I thought it was very pretty. Raji throwing a great ball out there yesterday.
Using his legs.
Steelers
Even with the discount
get a
double check.
27-22 win on the road in Baltimore with a little discount double check.
I'll do it for the YouTube audience here. We'll get a little discount double check. Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, look out. Baltimore stinks.
Baltimore stinks.
Yeah, they're bad.
I don't know. I don't know. I know the Steelers aren't great. Baltimore is bad.
Yeah, I thought they could win this division. They just can't put it together.
I don't know if you watched any of this football game.
I watched a little of it. I was bouncing around.
I'm telling you, he was slinging it yesterday. That was the best he's looked since he's left the Packers.
I mean, you could tell he was feeling it because
he was hitting the discount double check.
Double check. Hasn't done that in a while.
The Broncos traveled to Vegas,
all right,
and we have to talk about it. A 24-17 final. The Broncos took care of business, did not cover the spread.
Okay, let's stop there. This is why we said to not take the Broncos on Friday's show for exactly this type of end-of-game scenario. I am sorry, but for anybody out there today that is questioning what Pete Carroll did at the end of the game, I don't think you're a bad person for at least wondering what went on there. Now, there was somebody in the sports media landscape that went a little too far yesterday.
Yes.
And by a little too far, I mean a lot of too far. Like cross the line, you just don't cross. But in general, if you want, because I'll do it, I'll raise my hand and be like, we might need to look at the end of that game. Like, why are we kicking the field goal down 10 with 4 seconds left in the game? The delay of game penalty to get them down there, the correct call. You cannot do that.
That is a penalty.
But to kick the field goal?
It is a terrible beat if you had Broncos minus 7.5.
On Friday, I said I like the number, but I'm worried about the game being close in the fourth quarter. It's exactly what happened.
The Bears.
Also, you can be mad at a bad beat. You don't have to do what certain people did yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. People were freaking out yesterday. Little too far on a lot of fronts.
You can be upset, but you can also be a decent human being. Those two things can work together.
Yes. And you can take it to Twitter. Why did they kick it? That's fine.
You don't need to.
You just can't cross a line.
You can't allegedly threaten people. Because I don't know if it was an actual threat, but you can't say what Dave Portnoy said. You cannot say it. You can't do it. Can't go there.
The Bears traveled to Lambeau to take on the Packers. The Packers ended up edging this one out 28-21. Caleb Williams threw a red zone interception on 4th and 1 late in the game trying to tie it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I kind of talked about in the preview on Friday. If the Bears win this game, everybody starts to take them a little more seriously. They lose, people are going to be like, see, this is why I'm still on the fence. That's one of those games where, see, I'm still on the fence. They can compete. I don't think they're better. And by the way, the handshake post game, you don't think it's personal?
I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness! Did you not see what happened throughout the week?
No.
So,
I thought LaFleur and Ben Johnson were like good buddies.
So Ben Johnson
said, "I can't wait to beat the Packers twice a year."
In his introductory press conference, because when he was with the Lions, they did well against the Packers. So it was the talk all week. You go to Lambeau, you lose. You're going to have to eat some humble pie. And LaFleur, it was a quick handshake, and he moved on with his day. He's just on business.
No, that's it. Listen, it's a bad loss. You lost in Green Bay. It's going to happen. You lost by 7. You had the ball late with a chance to tie it, maybe go for 2 to win it. You threw an interception. It happens. Nothing about this game showed me the Bears can't compete with the rest of the NFC.
Fair. I just don't think they're on the level of making a run.
And I don't disagree with that. But anybody who's like, well, there it is. The Bears can't compete. I think you did not truly take into account that this game was very close to going the Bears' way. Very close.
Fair enough, yes.
The Texans traveled to Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football and got it done. A 20-10 win to throw the knockout punch against the Kansas City Chiefs.
We went busto. Kansas City Chiefs, it's over. It's over.
And by their stars, Travis Kelce couldn't catch the football yesterday.
He couldn't catch the football. They've offensively just been in a malaise all season long. It's just never looked like what you expect the Kansas City Chiefs offense to look like. And I said it on Friday. It feels weird, but you didn't trust Mahomes against the Texans defense with the way they've been playing. They only scored 10 points. I hate to be this guy. That result doesn't shock me. If you've watched both teams at all this season, That game yesterday shouldn't surprise you. It shouldn't surprise you that Houston defense could do that to Patrick Mahomes, and it shouldn't surprise you that Patrick Mahomes couldn't do anything against the Texans defense.
2 takeaways that I thought were the biggest from yesterday. One, that Texans defense.
Legit.
I don't want to play them if I'm in the AFC at all. At all. In a playoff game, they feel like they can go on the road and beat anybody.
I mean, what, 3 picks?
And second,
Sacked them twice?
The difference between the Chiefs this year, last year, the year before, whatever you want to say. I'm watching this game with my dad, and they get the ball back 17-10. Then they have to go 90-plus yards or whatever it is. And my dad was like, they got no chance. Every year.
Before that,
you're like, here we go.
Yeah, what are they going to do this time?
Yep.
Yeah, it's totally different. The script has flipped on the Kansas City Chiefs. That is your NFL Rewind for Week 14. One more game tonight. We'll get to that probably in the leftovers, and we'll recap it tomorrow for the NFL News Dump when we come back. Wrapping up hour number 1 here of the lunch break with a little buy or sell. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app. The Marshall Tucker Band. Get ready for a night of legendary Southern rock and sing along to all the classics. The Marshall Tucker Band with special guest Firefall, bringing their timeless hits. February 28th at the Celebrity Theater. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. The Marshall Tucker Band and Firefall, brought to you by Danny Zalisco Presents.
If you're a fan of any sport on the planet, college or pro, then we are right where you want to be. The place to come when you want to have too much fun. Real sports fans need a sports book powered by Hard Rock Bet. Follow the money line to Twin Arrows and too much fun. Twin Arrows. The best indoor tailgate party in Flagstaff with massive HD screens, cold drinks, game time food specials, and best service is at Arrow Sports Bar. After the game, get back in the game at craps, blackjack, and slots. Now that's too much fun. The place to come when you want to have too much fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Hi, I'm Andrew the Homebuyer. In this holiday season, I want to give back. So for every home I buy, I'll donate $1,000 to St. Jude. By now, you already know I'll buy your house for cash in any condition, and I'll beat any other offer. And now by selling me your house, you can help out a family at St. Jude. So let's get your home sold quickly. Call me, Andrew the Homebuyer, today. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com. That's AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
ASU women's basketball right here on KDUS AM 1060. Join the Lady Sun Devils as they hit the road to take on Penn State. With Coach Molly Miller at the helm, ASU has shown their strength in the court, whether home or away. Join Jeff Munn on the call live this Tuesday. It's ASU versus Penn State. Pregame at 4:30 p.m. and tip-off at 5 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060, Chris Schubert hanging out with you today on the Monday edition of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us today as we wrap up our first full year of doing this show. The show started October 2024, so this is our first full calendar year, January all the way through of doing the show. Been a lot of fun.
Wow.
So we hit the official 1 full year mark of the show in October. It was actually while I was away getting married and on my honeymoon. But now this will be our first full calendar year, January through, doing the show. So a lot of fun and got a lot of big plans for 2026. We hope you hang out with us all year long. To close up hour number 1 here of the lunch break, got a little buy or sell, the hottest takes in the Valley. And I'm sure, because it is the hottest story in the Valley, we're going to start with some Mike Soroka Diamondbacks talk. Would be my guess.
That is exactly where we're going to start. No, I'm just kidding. Sam Leavitt will go to a top 15 team in the country.
We're going to get to this a little bit later on in the show. Sam Leavitt's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Leavitt will
Everybody
not
wave
be...
goodbye to Juice
Yeah,
Box,
yeah,
as they say in
yeah.
Kicking and Screaming.
Yeah, Sam Leavitt will not be returning. That's not me reporting anything. There's not a report out there. There's just something that happened over the weekend that tells me I'm going to put on my detective cap for just a second.
Well, I think this morning it is official.
Oh, it is official.
He's entering the transfer portal.
He will be going to a top 15 school. Yes, I buy.
Any predictions?
You're asking, who are we putting in the top 15?
Yeah, so for me, like coming into the year, like I imagine LSU is going to be a top 15 team, just with Lane Kiffin and everything. Like, I think he could go there.
He could go to Florida.
I think he could go to Florida. I think he'll end up at Miami, though. If you had to ask me where I think he would go, it's Miami. They've been the senior quarterback merchants.
And they did this with Carson Beck.
Cam Ward. This is kind of their new shtick.
Yeah, I'm seeing it just now. Arizona Central, AZ Central, an hour ago, literally 6 minutes before we went on the air. Arizona State quarterback Sam Leavitt will hit the transfer portal, reports say. We'll talk about that more in hour number 2 of the program.
If the Cardinals make a change at head coach, they should do it before the season ends.
I'm gonna sell this take only because what's the benefit of firing him early? What do you gain from making this move today, other than making all of us happy that you're fed up the way we're fed up, right? Because I never root for anybody to lose their job. I want Jonathan Gannon to be successful here. But I've reached the point of being fed up with what I'm watching and what I'm being told and what I'm seeing with my own 2 eyeballs. Like, I'm just tired. So other than sending that message, what do you gain from firing him if they chose to do that today? The Giants fired Brian Daboll a month ago. I don't think they're any closer to getting a head coach than the Cardinals would be if they fired Jonathan Gannon today. You don't get any advantage. In college, I understand it. Because of the transfer portal, because of the stupid rules of the NCAA, you want to make those moves. You want to fire your coach so you can start your process. Now, unless you're Penn State and you fire James Franklin and then just take forever to make a decision.
Yeah, you just took a month off.
I don't think there's a benefit to it. So if Michael,
in the NFL, it's far less than college, correct?
Agreed, yes. I don't think, unless you're trying to pluck somebody from college, I don't see the benefit of firing your coach way ahead of time. Now, if the locker room's completely lost and you need to make a change, I get it. But there's no real...
I think it takes the conversation away from you getting blown out in division game after division game after division game.
Sure, but that appears to not be a problem right now. It doesn't... I mean, I'm just basing my reaction off of what the team has done. That doesn't seem to bother them. It's happened 3 times this year. Nothing's happened.
That's true.
No changes have been made after any singular one of those games.
No.
So why should I be frustrated if the team's not frustrated?
It's fair. I agree with Notre Dame's decision to not play in a bowl game.
I love this. I am Team Petty all the way. So Notre Dame giving the bowl process, and by the way, Notre Dame is not the only team that did this. Kansas State did it right. Iowa State did it as well.
Yes.
They all said no thank you.
But like Iowa State lost their head coach, right? So it makes sense that they would just be like, pack it in.
I'm just saying there are other teams that said no thanks to a bowl game.
Yes.
Rutgers denied a bowl opportunity at 5-7.
Yes.
A lot of teams are saying thanks, but no thanks. I love it. I love Notre Dame saying, you know what? If you're not going to invite us to the college football playoff, even though we're deserving, all right, we're good.
And I think that had they been outside the picture for 5 consecutive selection shows, maybe they accept. But because you had them in for 5 straight shows and then took them out at the end, now it changes.
Hour number 1 of the program in the books. More on this in hour number 2 next. Lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. St. Mary's Food Bank feeds 250,000 people across Arizona every day. Your support is what makes it all possible. You never know who might be going hungry. It could be a coworker. It could be a friend. It could be your neighbor. When you give to St. Mary's Food Bank, you help make sure there's food for anyone who needs it. Plus, donations qualify for the Arizona Charitable Tax Credit, up to $987. Learn more at stmarysfoodbank.org. That's stmarysfoodbank.org.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
The holidays are here and mornings aren't slowing down. Between the to-do list and the traffic, who's got time to cook breakfast? McDonald's does. With the 2 for $5 mix and match deal, you can grab 2 of your morning favorites without missing a beat. Pair up a sausage McMuffin with egg and a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, or mix it up however you like. Hot, satisfying, and easy on your wallet. Start your day smarter and tastier with the 2 for $5 mix and match deal only at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Hi, Jan from Toyota here to let you know that Toyotathon is on. And what better way to get in the spirit of the season than with a new Toyota, like RAV4, Grand Highlander, and Corolla Cross. But to really get in the spirit, let's sing about it. So without further ado, driving through the snow in a new RAV4, hooray. To the slopes we go in a Highlander for a ski day. A Camry to get hot cocoa, tubing with a Tundra makes the kids go loco. Oh, what fun it is to make holiday wishes come true. Toyotathon, Toyotathon, Toyotathon is on. Oh, what fun it is to drive a new Toyota today. Hey! Presto, a new holiday classic. Let's sing it again. Toyotathon, Toyotathon, Toyotathon is on.
Dealer inventory may vary. Toyotathon ends January 5th. See your participating dealer for details.
Have you guys tried these holiday cookies? They're so good.
Toyota, let's go places.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert hanging out with you today on the program. Producer Evan is on the other side of the glass. And I have to start with an announcement. Major apologies that I didn't get to this during the NFL Rewind. Congrats to our guy, Russell. A perfect week in the pick segment. 6 points out of a possible 6 points. The first person competing against the program to do so. And I will tell you, tough task to win this week. You scored 5 points. I had a perfect 6-point week. So it would have required at least 5 points to win. Russell said, no worries. I got it. 6 out of 6.
Out of all the 9 plays this show gave away between us and the callers, 8 of 9 this week.
Yeah, the only loss was your 1-point play of the Bears plus the 6.5. You lost it on the hook.
Lost it on the hook.
So that's it.
That's it.
Everything else you would have. Now, it wasn't really 9 plays. You and I had the same play. So it was really 8 plays. We both have the Seahawks.
Yeah, I guess we had the same 3-point play.
But either way, if you followed the show, including Russell, and by the way, I mean, this is why you pull over when you make your picks, right? You're able to focus. You're able to put
in a Circle K parking lot.
In a Circle K parking lot, you're able to put more attention on your picks, and you go perfect, and you get yourself a $50 gift card to Von Hanson's. So
I already got Russell's info in there. We're gonna send out his gift card.
So congratulations to Russell for getting Team Listener a victory, and for having a perfect week. The first person to do so. The Arizona Cardinals, they did not have a perfect week yesterday. They got blown out at home by the Los Angeles Rams, gave up 40 points yet again to a division rival. But there is something potentially more troubling than that. Yes, I think there is something in yesterday's game more troubling than losing in a blowout fashion to the Los Angeles Rams, to a division rival. Now, producer Evan's going to hear me explain myself because he doesn't actually know what I'm going to say here. And he's going to tell me if I'm crazy and reading too much into this. Because all I have to do, and trust me, I don't need to look at the box score to do this. I can just use my eyeballs and what the game showed me yesterday. But I'm going to read you the numbers from the box score because I think they emphasize the point. On the Rams side of things, their leading receiver, Puka Nacua, 7 catches, 167 yards, the 2 touchdowns. He averaged 23.9 per catch. On the Cardinals side, the leading receiver, Michael Wilson, 11 catches, 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaged nearly 13 per catch, 16 total targets. So Puka Nacua, excellent wide receiver on the one side for the Rams. Michael Wilson, becoming an excellent wide receiver on the side for the Arizona Cardinals. And I think you can start to see where I'm going with this because there are 2 receivers on the field that are great, and neither one of them are named Marvin Harrison Jr. Where's the Marvin Harrison Jr. game with 11 catches for 142 yards and 2 touchdowns? Where's the Marvin Harrison Jr. game that's 7 catches for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns? And the reason why I invoke both of these names is Puka Nacua was a 5th-round draft pick. He has the most amount of receiving yards in a receiver's first 40 games in the history of the sport. 5th-round pick. 5th-round selection, has 2 1,000-yard seasons. He had 990 yards last year, only played in 11 games. So would have gotten there if not for the injuries. Would have had 3 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, which, by the way, just puts into greater context what Mike Evans had been able to do for so long down in Tampa, just having 1,000 yards for, 10 or 11 straight seasons. Just incredible to stay healthy and to be on the field and to be able to be that productive. But you have Puka Nacua, a 5th-round pick on the one side, being great. And then you have Michael Wilson, and there's 2 angles to this. One, Michael Wilson putting together a game that Marvin Harrison Jr. has never been able to put together. But the other alarming thing is when they had Marvin Harrison Jr. and Michael Wilson on the field, he can't have a game like that. But when Marvin Harrison Jr. is away, Michael Wilson can look like the better receiver. So you have an offense that is fundamentally broken right now. Michael Wilson is showing you he is an extremely talented wide receiver. You can't make it work with Marv and Michael Wilson on the field at the same time because you saw it in the Tampa game. When he came back, they couldn't figure out a way to get Michael Wilson the ball. They couldn't figure out a way to keep both guys involved. That's a major problem. That is a major issue for whoever's coaching this team, for whoever is the quarterback under center, for whoever the offensive coordinator is next season. You have 2 talented wide receivers, or we think you have 2 talented wide receivers. And when they're both on the field, you can't get them involved. You can't find a way to get both of them targets. Devontae Adams got 6 targets in yesterday's game. Puka Nacua got 11 targets in yesterday's game. They're able to get those guys involved. You have to do a better job. This is a very bad sign. This is one of those alarm bells going off. Michael Wilson is showing you, in the absence of Marvin Harrison Jr., he is a really good wide receiver 2, if not a low-end wide receiver 1. He's showing that to you. This is what, the 3rd game he's had of 100-plus yards on all these catches, all these targets, with Marv out? He's been great. The 2 weeks that he was out with the appendicitis, now this week with the heel, Michael Wilson is putting up big numbers. Yet, when Marv is back in the lineup, they can't figure this out. Is this a Marv problem? Is it an offensive scheme problem? All I know is it is a major problem for this team moving forward. So you saw yesterday, a 5th-round pick yesterday from a couple years ago do more than anything we've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. And then you see Michael Wilson do stuff that Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't been able to do. And the other troubling thing is Michael Wilson can't be this receiver with Marv on the field because they can't figure out a way to get both of these guys involved. So any way you want to slice the performances of those 2 wide receivers yesterday, it looks bad on Marvin Harrison Jr. It looks bad on this offensive scheme. It looks bad on Jonathan Gannon. It looks bad on this organization. How is this still a problem at the end of year 2 for Marv? How is this still a problem at the end of year 3 for this offensive scheme. How are we here having this conversation in the middle of December? So that's another troubling thing for me yesterday. You got a 5th-round pick on the other side, playing way better than anything I've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. do. You've got Michael Wilson outplaying Marvin Harrison Jr. And on top of it, Michael Wilson seems to only be able to do this with Marv is gone, because when Marv is back, they forget how to call plays. They forget how to put together an offense.
It is unbelievable, the numbers he's put up in a 4 weeks, man. 15 for 185, 10 for 118, 3 for 36 in the 1 week at Tampa, and 11 for 142 this week. That's 3 of 4 games where you have double-digit receptions. Let's go through it, because I don't know if there's a game in his career that Marvin Harrison Jr. has had double-digit receptions.
Well, I'll pull up his stats over here, but I also want to point out that this conversation leads you down a path that's really uncomfortable. Do you want to know how I know it leads us down this path? Because it's happening over on our YouTube channel right now. Javi, who looks like he's a brand new listener to the program, or at least a first-time chatter over on the YouTube side of things, mentioning something that I think is very important. Trade Marvin Harrison Jr., package him up with picks to move up to get the quarterback you want. That's what yesterday's game and this run from Michael Wilson does. That's the type of conversation it invites. Now, I think it's premature. I think it's early to have those conversations. Let's get to the end of the year. Let's see where the Cardinals are picking in the draft. Let's take a second, step away from this year, and breathe for a little bit. Let's not overreact to in the middle of the season. But I don't blame you for thinking that today. I don't blame you for wondering what they could get for Marv, because it's not really working with Marv. We're going to be at the end of year 2 and still not know what he really is at the NFL level.
He has never had a game of over 8 receptions.
Michael Wilson has 3.
3 in 4 weeks. I don't know what
else. That speaks for itself. That speaks volumes at what problem has been created here by everybody involved. This is on the coach. This is on the quarterbacks. This is on the offensive coordinator. This is on Marv himself. I mean, this is on everybody that this has gotten to this point in year 2. You're not supposed to take a receiver number 4 overall, and at the end of year 2, question whether or not he's the wide receiver 1 on his own team. Question whether or not he could ever be the type of player that you take number 4 overall. It's supposed to be a known commodity. He's supposed to have a floor of doing what Michael Wilson and Puka Nacua are doing on a regular basis. He's getting outperformed by a 5th-round pick from a couple years ago, and he's getting outperformed by a guy on his own team that it took until, year 3, year 4 for Michael Wilson to pop, and he's only popping because Marv's off the field and they have no other choice to throw it to him, and he's finally showing to everybody, give me the ball, I'm a special player. Just a bad look on everybody. And it leads to conversations like, do the Cardinals need Marvin Harrison Jr.? Does Marvin Harrison Jr. mean more to the Cardinals as a trade chip than he does an actual player on the field for them?
And I
don't know what the answer to that question is, but the fact that it is December 8th, and I'm asking that question aloud, shows you how poorly this has gone.
The conversation alone
is the point. Being in your mind today.
Because you know who's not talking about trading their receiver? The Giants. They're not talking about moving neighbors. The Bengals haven't really talked about moving Jamar Chase. The Vikings, the discussions haven't started about Justin Jefferson.
And by the way, if those conversations happen this offseason,
it's because he's forcing his way out.
Right. It's not because he's underperforming. It's because they're not giving him quarterback play.
And so those are the conversations we're having. We are having problems where the entire fan base, not the entire fan base, but most of them, feel as if they can get more out of Marvin Harrison Jr. if they move him and in a return package than what they can get in year 3, year 4, if you pick up that 5th-year option.
I'm going to come at this from a different angle. Right now, the New York Giants have the number 1 overall pick. That phone rings. You're Monty Ossenfort. I'm putting you, the listener of this program, I'm putting you, producer Evan, I'm putting myself in the chair of being the GM of the Arizona Cardinals today. The New York Giants call you. They say they will do a pick swap with you. You can move up to the number 1 spot to get your quarterback. All you got to do is give them, I think the Cardinals sit at pick 8 right now in the draft. And the only thing we want in addition is Marvin Harrison Jr. The pick swap and Marv. Now, I know the analogy is a little clunky because they have Malik Neighbors, but just go with me for a second. Because the point I'm trying to make is, if that offer was on the table today, I would bet 75% of this audience wouldn't even hesitate and make the trade. That speaks volumes. That Marvin Harrison Jr. in less than 2 seasons has gotten to a place that if an offer was on the table from an opposing team for the Cardinals to move up and get their quarterback, and the only thing the Cardinals had to move was Marvin Harrison Jr., I think 75 to 80% of this audience wouldn't even think about it. They would say yes and submit the paperwork.
I got a question for you. Let me give you this. What if it's not 1? What if it's Cleveland at 4, Tennessee at 3? And the thought process is take Jordan Tyson. Take the number 1 receiver in this class. He's not going to get to you at 8. I still think I would do it. I still think I would pull the trigger on that.
I think if a team asks me right now for Marv, and that's the thing that stopped me from getting a quarterback, I would have to do it.
You would have to.
I'd have to do it.
Have to.
Michael Wilson is showing me he can be a wide receiver 1. I've got Trey McBride. I have another great pass catcher. If that's the thing that's stopping me.
I can sign one in free agency.
If that's the thing that's stopping me from getting the quarterback of my future, if I believe Fernando Mendoza is the truth, if I think he's my franchise quarterback, I've got to get me some Fernando Mendoza. And the only thing that's stopping me from getting him is Marvin Harrison Jr., I would do it. Now, again, I think we are a little early and premature on having this conversation. But the reason why I wanted to walk through this is because even the mere thought of having this conversation tells you where things have gone.
I'm going to read you free agent receivers at the end of this year and tell me if you would rather have them for 1 year or Marvin Harrison Jr. Mike Evans. Probably rather have Marv, just given Evans' age.
I would take Marv, yes.
Christian Kirk.
I would take Marv.
I think I would take Christian
No,
Kirk.
Kirk didn't work here.
Debo Samuel.
I would take Marv.
Jacoby Myers.
It's close, but I would take Marv.
I think that's the first one. Jawan Jennings.
No, I would take Marv.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that one's Jawan Jennings. But I think that you're thinking about these, and these aren't big names.
No, none of them are big names. I mean, Marv's, again, and John pointed this out on YouTube, who even wants Marv? And again, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to unravel this ball of yarn. I mean, if we want to go here, we can. But I think this ball of yarn is very tangled right now, and we need more clarity before we even begin to untangle it. But yesterday, you watch a 5th-round receiver on the other side with good coaching in the right scheme with a good quarterback thrive. And then you see on your side of the field a receiver that started the year on your depth chart as the wide receiver 3. We said this team didn't have a wide receiver 2. I'd like to apologize to Michael Wilson. I'd like to apologize to Monty. You had a wide receiver 2 on your roster the whole time.
You didn't use him.
You didn't use him, but you had him on the roster the whole time. His name was Michael Wilson. Both of those players doing more in yesterday's game than I've seen Marvin Harrison Jr. do in his 2 seasons. Now, I don't think I'm ready to move on from Marv, but I do know that if teams came calling, I'm listening. I do know if he's the roadblock for me to potentially getting a Dante Moore, a Ty Simpson, a Fernando Mendoza. And if I love one of those quarterbacks in the draft, if that's the thing that's stopping me, boy, it's going to be tough for me to look my fan base in the face and say, yeah, the reason why we didn't trade up to get that quarterback that we love is because we had to keep Marvin Harrison Jr. around, who after 2 seasons hasn't been doing a whole lot. It was startling yesterday to see the 2 receivers play as well as they did and realize Marv's never done any of that. And part of me wondered, could Marv do any of that?
And that's the problem. It's no longer he doesn't have the opportunity. I feel like they've given him plenty of opportunity this year. And in games that I thought they tried to run him over the middle or scheme him open, drops became a problem.
It has been a bad second year for Marvin Harrison Jr., and it's only getting worse with how well Michael Wilson is playing when he's out. It's only making it worse because then it feels like when Marv gets back, everybody's kind of frozen. They're stuck. They're stuck in place. They can't figure out how to make this work. It's a bad look on the coaching staff. It's a bad look that you've got 2 great talented wide receivers and you can't figure out a way to get them both the ball. Needs to be better. Has to be better. And that's why you're going to hear me say this a lot And I've already said it a lot. The Arizona Cardinals are not just a quarterback problem right now. There's a lot going on here. Offensive line is bad. That offensive line, I know they were banged up yesterday. That they need 3 new starters along that offensive line next year. 3. They need a new quarterback. They need help on the defensive side. I mean, they've got a lot of things to address. And now you have to wonder what Marv's role is in all of this. Because yesterday, you saw 2 receivers be true number 1 options for their team. And I can't tell you the game this year or last year that Marv had that's anything close to that. Maybe that game he had against the Rams early in his rookie campaign. Maybe. But other than that, he's not doing what Michael Wilson did yesterday. He's not doing what Puka Nacua did yesterday. And I don't want to hear it's about the quarterback. Michael Wilson's doing this with Jacoby Brissett. And by the way, Jacoby Brissett, probably the best fantasy quarterback you could ever have. Because he's going to throw for over 300 yards, although he only threw for 271 yesterday. He's going to throw a couple of touchdowns, and you're just going to look up. It's going to be ugly, but you're going to look up at the end of the day, and he's going to score you like 24, 25 fantasy points. It's great. I have him in one of my leagues that's about to start the playoffs, and he's going to be my guy that I roll with. Just going to go out there and just somehow get to 300 yards at the end of the day.
And yesterday, they threw the ball 44 times.
Yeah, 44 times. Michael asks, how bad is Marv hurt? We don't know. I mean, the heel kept him out all of last week. We'll have to keep an eye on this week. And they were banged up. They didn't have Walter Nolan. They didn't have Marvin Harrison Jr. They didn't have Max Melton. They didn't have Greg Dortch. I mean, they were out a ton of players on both sides of the ball yesterday, mainly on the offense.
I got to tell you, though, Walter Nolan being out, how did they stop the run before he came back? And they were giving up 7 yards a carry. Blake Corum ripped you for, 122 yesterday?
No, please, put more respect on 128.
128?
249 yards on the ground.
I mean, you can't let that happen.
And it's actually 250 because Jimmy Garoppolo had 3 carries for -4. Those are the 3 kneel downs.
Kneel downs, yeah.
So over 250 yards on the ground to the tune of nearly 7 yards a carry. 3 rushing touchdowns. They got gashed. Stafford, 22 of 31, 281 yards to 3 touchdowns. Didn't get sacked. No interceptions. 0 sacks. You didn't put any meaningful pressure on Stafford in that game yet.
Not at all.
So
it was really bad for a defensive-minded head coach. It feels like they're getting worse at the side of the ball that he coaches.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
And we have a mutual friend who's a big believer in when you hire a defensive or offensive-minded head coach, has that side of the football gotten better?
No.
No is the answer here.
Yeah, no, it's getting worse. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it did not look great on Friday. Any chance it looks better tonight? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU men's basketball over on KAZG 1440. Join the Lumberjacks as they travel down the mountain to take on ASU this Tuesday night. With head coach Shane Burkhardt at the helm, the Lumberjacks know they have what it takes to score a win down in Tempe. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live. It's NAU versus ASU this Tuesday night. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. and tip-off at 7 over on KAZG 1440.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Chicago Sticks, the Windy Cities Tour. Finally, 2 iconic bands together for the first time. September 1st, Mortgage Matchup Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Chicago and Sticks. All the hits, your kind of tour.
When is Kate getting here?
Should be any minute. She was on one of her Goodwill treasure hunts.
Treasure hunt? Oh, here she comes. And in an amazing new jacket.
Ready to rock, guys?
You definitely are.
Where'd you get that?
Don't you love it? I got it at Goodwill.
Kate got it at Goodwill. With hundreds of thousands of unique items arriving in-store daily, you can get it at Goodwill too. Find your convenient neighborhood location at goodwillaz.org. Nonprofit for good.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast.
When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. College football has always been a copycat sport, but if anybody believes Indiana's rise can simply be duplicated, they may be in for a long and frustrating ride. What Curt Cignetti built is not a formula that you download and run. It's an anomaly. You start with the coach, you find somebody as confident, sharp, and aggressively forward-thinking as Cignetti. It's almost impossible. Then add the transfer portal. Indiana did not just hit the portal, they dominated it. And as if that was not challenging enough, they landed a Heisman-level quarterback and developed him into a potential first overall pick. This is Indiana football we're talking about, a program that had never produced a double-digit winning season in its entire history. Cignetti went 11-2, then followed it with a perfect 13-0 run. Cinderella's story should give teams hope, but in a copycat sport, programs trying to recreate this are going to learn just how rare what they're doing in Bloomington really is. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
This holiday season, skip the same old gifts and send something that's truly unforgettable. From Heartland Steak Company, we're talking premium, hand-cut Midwestern meats such as USDA Prime and Choice Beef, all-natural pork, and tender chicken, all delivered straight to their door with care and convenience. Whether you're shopping for family, friends, clients, or anyone who appreciates bold flavor and quality meats, Heartland Steak Co. has something for everyone. Choose from Grill Master packages, holiday gift boxes, or freezer fillers, each one hand-picked, flash frozen, and packed to preserve unbeatable freshness and taste. It's the perfect way to share the true Midwest flavor this season. Ordering is quick and easy at heartlandsteakco.com. And when you order right now and spend $199.99 or more, you'll receive free shipping plus $25 off your order with promo code GIFT. Give the gift of flavor this holiday season with Heartland Steak Co. That's heartlandsteakco.com. And don't forget to use promo code GIFT. Taste the Heartland difference.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
You were probably feeling good at the end of the first quarter on Friday. Suns on the road in Houston. No Jalen Green, no Devin Booker. The first of what's going to be a couple of games without the superstar for the Phoenix Suns. And yet, despite that, they go on the road to Houston, and they're up 7 at the end of the first quarter. And you're thinking, man, this is a scrappy team. Yet another reminder of what this team's going to be every single night. And then you are very quickly reminded that the Phoenix Suns are going to be very, 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 very shorthanded without Devin Booker and Jalen Green. 39% from the field. They hit 39 out of 100 shots. They went 5 of 36 from behind the three-point line. That's good enough for, and I didn't do this math in my head. It's here on my notes right here in front of me. 14% from behind the three-point line. And they got blown out 117-98. I mean, first quarter, you're feeling great. The rest of the game, you're like, yeah, this is kind of what I expected. Now, is it just a bad night shooting? Is it a bad night of going 39% from the field? A bad night of only knocking down 5 threes? Or is this going to be the case with a bunch of guys needing to step up that maybe you don't want getting the shooting volume that's going to be required for the Suns to stay in these games? That's the concern that you have, and they play again tonight. They play against Minnesota. That game's going to be on Peacock if you're so interested, and I worry about a very similar fate tonight.
And while Dylan Brooks has stepped up in big moments for you, do you actually want him to be the number one scoring option?
Yeah, led the team with the 23 points, was 10 of 24 from the field. He went 0 for 4 from 3. But after that, you've got 13 from Colin Gillespie. I mean, these are your starters. 13 from Colin Gillespie, 9 from Grayson Allen, 10 from Mark Williams, no points in 19 minutes from Royce O'Neal. That's the starting 5 for the Phoenix Suns on Friday night.
That's not winnable in the NBA. You can't win like that.
Unless
you become the 7-18 San Antonio Spurs or the Utah Jazz.
Who, by the way, defensively gave up how many points?
99.
How many points did the Suns score on Friday?
98.
I mean, I don't want to say that it's always going to feel that way, but we kind of hit the nail right on the head of where the Suns are going to top out as a basketball team without Booker and without Green. 98 points. They're going to have to play better defensively. They're also going to have to play better offensively. They can't shoot 14% from the three-point line. They can't shoot 39% from the field. Just can't do it. And they actually did well. 21 turnovers by the Houston Rockets. Early on, they were forcing a ton of turnovers. The Rockets, Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, Kevin Durant, they can just lean on you. And they keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming because they have superstar talent that they can rely on, specifically Kevin Durant. The Suns don't have that. So they just don't. Can they play well for a quarter? Yes. Could they play well for a half? Certainly. Do I think right now they can play well for 4 quarters to stay in a game against a team like Houston, tonight against a team like Minnesota? No, I don't think they have the ability to do that. And it doesn't make them a bad team. It doesn't mean that what they're doing is not working. It's just the reality of the situation of without Booker and without Green, the two guys that are supposed to be 1 and 2 in scoring on this team.
You don't have enough options.
You don't have enough options. You're still early on in this process of building out the rest of this group.
And I think when we invoked Dylan Brooks, he was a great scoring option as the number 2, as the number 3, and kind of grew into a scoring option this year.
Oh, Dylan Brooks is your number 3? You feel great about it?
You feel great about it.
You don't feel great about him needing to be the
him
guy.
needing to be your number 1. You just can't win in the NBA with him being your number 1. And so until Devin Booker gets back, I don't see them having 115 points and beating somebody 115, 114. I don't think that's the type of game they can win. And in this stretch where you have Oklahoma City on Wednesday and you have tonight's game, in all honesty, are they actually going to be able to outscore the Timberwolves tonight? And I can't believe this is only a 7.5 point spread.
It doesn't fall into our 10.5 point or double digits that we thought it was going to be. 7.5. They're 15.5, as we mentioned, for Thursday or for Wednesday's game against the Thunder. And by the way, if they play the way they played against the Rockets on Wednesday,
it'll get out of hand pretty quickly.
Look out. They might lose by 30.
That would be really demoralizing. It's tough to lose Booker for the cup.
Oh, it's so disheartening considering the group that they were in, to be able to get out of that group and to make it.
That is impressive in and of itself. And I don't want to take anything away from that.
Right. You beat the Timberwolves, you beat the Kings, you beat the Jazz. And you played competitive in the 4th game against the Thunder, and that was the thing that put you over the top. That was the thing that got you in. And yet it's going to feel like it's going to lead to a whole lot of nothing because you're probably going to be without Booker on Wednesday, and the Thunder are 23-1. 23-1. On pace to go 79-4.
I think I believe it's 79-3.
So that would be because 79
you play 82 games.
So 79-3 would be 82. Just incredible what they've done so far this year. They've just been excellent. Their last 5 games, they beat Utah by 30. They beat Dallas by 21. They had a 2-point win over Golden State, an 8-point win over Portland, and then that 4-point win over the Suns. Just, they've been great. They've been great. 23-1. They've won 15 games in a row. They score 123 points a night. They're the best defensive team in the sport. That's who you face on Wednesday. So we'll see. We'll see if it can look better tonight. I don't expect it to. It's going to be a very similar group. It's another quality opponent, but we'll see. We'll see if the Suns, I do think there is some value in seeing how they adjust. Now Jordan not seen a game with this group. Okay, I've got to change some things up if we're going to stand a chance without Devin Booker. So what does that look like? That's the intriguing thing to see tonight. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us here today. Also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube channel where we've got a live stream going as well. The reports they're in. Sam Leavitt out the door. What's next for the Sun Devils? Plus, we've got to talk about the madness of the college football playoff. All of it coming up next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The other day, I couldn't find my belt, and my wife found my belt, and as she brought it to me, she said, "Where would you be without me?" And I wanted to say, exactly here without the belt. In fact, I would have the belt because I would know exactly where it was in yesterday's pants on the floor. But now, we're not allowed to leave yesterday's pants on the floor, so I need a National Treasure-style map to find my one lousy belt.
Seth Meyers, live on stage, Saturday, March 14th, Talking Stick Resort. Tickets are on sale now at TalkingStickResort.com.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers, it's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in-store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Fridays at 5, I'm out exploring. From hiking up Camelback to skiing at Snowbowl, the adventures never stop with AAA. It's membership that travels with me, whether behind the wheel or a passenger. In my ride, my buddies, or a rental. AAA's got 24/7 expert help with tows, battery help, and more. Plus branch services like free passport photos and trip planning. Membership gives you all this and more for less than $6 a month, and I can add loved ones for half off. Call or visit your local branch today. AAA, your membership to go.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit friesfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
At Zoo Lights, the Phoenix Zoo has everything you need to celebrate the season. Embrace the holiday spirit as millions of twinkling lights transform the zoo into a winter wonderland. With over 2 miles of glimmering tree-lined trails, dozens of animal lanterns, and the tallest floating tree in North America, featuring an all-new Lake Lights show. Warm up with s'mores, sip hot cocoa, and of course, get your photo with Santa. Zoo Lights, presented by SRP. Timeless tradition, endless wonder. Get tickets now at phoenixzoo.org.
You're listening to the Jim Rome Show.
The Lane Kiffin reinvention arc went from one of the truly feel-good stories in the game to him once again becoming public enemy number 1. I have no issue with him leaving. It's how he left, burning all bridges yet again. You strung Ole Miss along. You turned it into a complete circus, and then you were bent when they wouldn't let you coach them in the playoff? Get out of here with that. It's natty or bust for you at LSU, Lane.
The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday, here on KDUS AM 1060.
Which of the 2 college football stories should we start with? Do we start with my thoughts on the college football playoff? Do we start with my thoughts on who was left out, who was invited, Notre Dame saying thanks but no thanks to a bowl bid? Or do we start with the story that is closer to home, and that is all of the reports that are saying that Sam Leavitt will be indeed entering the transfer portal, which will open up on January 2nd for a 2-week time span up until January 16th. Is that where we start? Because that was the story that made waves over the weekend, because Sam Leavitt also did not appear at ASU's annual team banquet. He was the only captain to not appear for ASU. And that was when everybody started to really understand that Sam Leavitt was leaving. And I will tell you, I'm really conflicted on how to talk about this story, because on the one hand, Sam Leavitt did a lot of great things for this program. Sam Leavitt was the quarterback under center for this team when they won the Big 12 championship last year, was the quarterback under center for that great instant classic that they played against Texas, was the reason why they were in overtime and had a chance to pull off that upset, one defensive play away from moving on to the next round. He did all those great things. He helped put this program on the map, and he deserves all the credit in the world for that. I have a problem with him not showing up to the banquet. Now, maybe his teammates don't mind, and maybe he told them that he wasn't going to be there and they're okay with it. And so who am I to tell them how to feel? But I know if I was in that room, I know if I was one of his teammates, I don't care that you're leaving, man. I get it. This is college football. I might be considering leaving as well. I might be trying to go get the bag from someplace else. I might be looking for a different opportunity, a different chance, a chance to start, a chance to get more targets, a chance to get more reps, a chance to get more money. I may explore all of that, but there's part of finishing what you started. And at the end of the year, if you want to go ahead and go someplace else, fine. I may not like it, but I understand it. I don't understand not being there for your teammates at the banquet. Do you not want to answer questions about what your future might be? I get it, but you can find a way around that. To not be there for your teammates really rubbed me the wrong way. And it doesn't change what he's done. It doesn't change the player that he was here. But boy, does it kind of alter my opinion of him a little bit. And again, he might have told his teammates and they might have supported him and told him that's fine and it's not that big of a deal. I just know if it was me in that room, that would have bothered me. It would have bothered me to not have a captain, a leader, somebody that I might have had a friendship with, not finish this chapter with me at this banquet.
And while I think the whole world probably knew he was gone, it's a sign of disrespect to the program.
Yeah, I just don't love it. I just don't like it. I just wish he would have shown up. And then after that, if he leaves and he's got no more obligations, it's not even an obligation, but those are your teammates, man.
Yeah, you quit on team. And I know it's not a game.
It's harsh, but I get it. I understand feeling that way. And it's just not a good look. It's just not how about this? It's just not the right thing to do.
I would have no problem with him leaving and say, hey, I can get more money at Miami, at LSU. Okay, I get it. This is a guy who, let's face it, has no ties to Arizona State from a family perspective, from growing up here. No ties to Arizona State whatsoever. And if he feels that it's a better opportunity for him, not only in the draft, but to play into the playoffs, get more money, all of those things, if he feels that it's a better opportunity, go ahead. Sign on the dotted line. We love to set you up for the next stop in your story. But finish out the year. It's a dinner. It's not hard. It's not a difficult thing. You're not risking injury. Right?
Right.
Show up to the dinner, dude.
Right. This is different than, if he was healthy enough to play in a bowl game and decided not to play.
That's a very different conversation.
I don't love that either, but that's a very different conversation. And yeah, so that's, I had a tough time with this. I really did. It bothered me when I read it yesterday. Now, for ASU, looks like they're going to be in the quarterback market. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Kenny Dillingham's ability to identify the quarterback that he wants leading his team. I'm not worried about ASU having the resources to get that quarterback. I'm not worried about it at all, because whatever resources ASU was going to use to keep Sam Leavitt, they're just going to use to go get another quarterback. And those resources for Sam Leavitt were probably going to be pretty impactful, pretty sizable. So I do not worry about ASU. ASU is going to be fine. Kenny Dillingham's going to be fine. Kenny got here, had to recruit Sam Leavitt in the transfer portal to come here first. He'll be able to go get somebody else. And if you don't think there are other quarterbacks that are going to want to come here and work with Kenny Dillingham and work with Sam Leavitt and work with this program and the players on this team, then there will be players that will want to come here. ASU's fine.
They will be fine. There are going to be quarterbacks, by the way, that just watched what Sam did and understand, hey, maybe the best situation for me is playing with Kenny. Bo Nix, Sam Leavitt,
The Harvard
Jordan Travis. The story goes on and on.
The Harvard quarterback went into the portal today, right?
Yes, he did.
He's had some great numbers this year.
Had some great numbers.
Now,
people really like it. I haven't watched much of him.
No, but anytime
he's
now
at Harvard. But
anytime now I see a quarterback enter the transfer portal, now the ears are up.
I don't think you read it. We flipped somebody from Georgia.
Right, take that, Kirby Smart.
The world's our oyster these days.
So we'll see.
We're one of the big dogs now, and now we're swimming in the tank.
Priority number one is to get a quarterback in the transfer portal that can get to this team, step right in, and put this team on the level of being in the mix for the Big 12 next year. Okay.
Let's do it.
Am I going to be able to do this in the next couple of minutes? We'll see. This may.
Do you want me to read you the bracket start?
Sure. Go ahead.
I feel like that's a good way to look at the bracket. Here it is. The 12 team, James Madison, will travel to take on Oregon, the 5 seed. The 4th seed, Texas Tech, will play the winner of that game and has the bye. Alabama will travel to Oklahoma to play Oklahoma as the 9 seed, and Oklahoma being the 8th seed. The winner of that game will play number 1, Indiana. The 11th seed, Tulane, will travel to Oxford to take on the 6th seed, Ole Miss. The winner of that game will play number 3, Georgia. The 10-seeded Miami will take on Texas A&M at Texas A&M. The winner of that game will play number 2, Ohio State.
So there's a lot of anger about this bracket. There's a lot of anger about Notre Dame being left out. There's a lot of anger about BYU being left out. They did exactly what we said they were going to do with the ACC champion. If Duke won, that was going to be not getting a representative. They put 2 group of 5 teams in. That bothered a lot of people. And so let me start with this. I agree with everybody out there who says, don't put yourself in a position for the committee to try to split hairs on your resume, right? The easiest way to do this is to be dominant and win your conference championship. Be Indiana, right? There's no question where Indiana belongs in this bracket because Indiana went out there, beat everybody on their schedule, beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten, easy. They're number 1, not even a conversation.
And take it from Ohio State's side, too. They lost 1 game to Indiana in the conference championship, and they rolled everybody else. They handled their business. Right. They're 1-2.
Don't put yourself in the position that Miami put themselves in, Notre Dame put themselves in, BYU put themselves in, Alabama, all these teams, right? So, again, disclaimer at the top. Don't put yourself in these situations. If you play better, if you don't lose games early on in the season, you don't put yourself in this boat. But here is where now I'm going to absolutely destroy the College Football Playoff Committee because you've told on yourself yet again. You have once again told us all you don't have a process. Now, there are some out there that think there's a bias and that they always have to get these big programs in. No, let me just tell you, the easiest reason is usually the actual reason. They don't have a clue what they're doing. They don't have an idea of how to rank 12 teams in college football. They don't have a process. It's made up. And do you want to know why I know it's made up? Because for 5 consecutive weeks, including this past Tuesday, Notre Dame has been in front of Miami. Yet, since week 1 of the regular season, Miami had a win over Notre Dame. For 5 consecutive weeks, this playoff committee put Notre Dame in front of Miami, knowing when they evaluated these resumes, Miami beat Notre Dame head-to-head. They have the same record. Doesn't matter. Miami has the head-to-head. We still don't care about that. Until you have these 2 teams next to each other, and then you do care. Why? Here is the quote from the committee chairman of the College Football Playoff. Quote, once we moved Miami ahead of BYU, then we had that side-by-side comparison that everybody had been hungering for. You look at those 2 teams on paper, and they're almost equal in their schedule strength, their common opponents, the results against common opponents. But the one metric we had to fall back on, again, was the head-to-head.
Well, then why didn't you do it earlier or put BYU above both of those teams?
You are saying that the head-to-head mattered when these 2 teams were next to each other. But when they were 2 spots from each other, you didn't care about it that much. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And I'm going to tell you what this is going to do. It's going to tell teams like Notre Dame. It's going to tell teams like Miami, even though they got in. You know what? If I'm Notre Dame, I'm not scheduling that game against Texas A&M.
Why would I play it?
If I play a cupcake and I win that second week of the season and I have 1 loss yesterday, I'm in. I'm in. But because I played Texas A&M, because I played Miami to start the year, because I played those games, that might have cost me. Those games might have cost me my ability, and they did cost me my ability of being in the college football playoff.
And take it from Texas's point of view, and Sark said it, and they're going to honor the deals they've signed with Michigan and Ohio State, and those teams will have the right to come play Texas at Texas, right? And because that's the deal they signed. But they signed those deals when they were in the Big 12.
Notre Dame.
And they felt like they needed to strengthen their schedule. Playing for them in the SEC, for Texas, why would I want to schedule anybody that's legitimate out non-conference? And for Notre Dame, it's the same deal. Why would I ever not schedule a cupcake schedule and go 12-0?
Notre Dame played 2 games this year that they lost. A 3-point loss to Miami, a 1-point loss to Texas A&M. That's what kept them out. That 1-point loss to Texas A&M is what kept them out. They win that game,
they're in.
So if that is Sheboygan State University and they win 78-0, they're in. No offense to any listeners who may be from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I don't even know if I think it's a made-up university, but you catch my point. If they play a nobody and they win 78-0, they're in. The committee told on themselves, head-to-head matters, but only when we think it matters because the 2 teams are next to each other. That's them admitting to you what I give producer Evan a hard time for all the time. And I joke, you're pulling a college football playoff committee. They put these teams where they want them to make their job easier. It's not actually an evaluation of the talent. It's not actually an evaluation as a result. They kept Miami and Notre Dame apart so they didn't have to do what they did yesterday. And then because BYU lost and didn't play rather competitively, they were forced into this situation. Whereas if a month ago they just put Notre Dame in, they put Miami in front of Notre Dame always because, hey, these 2 teams have similar records. These 2 teams have similar schedule strengths, and they played each other. Do you know how easy it is to be a college football playoff committee chair? Why is Miami in front of Notre Dame? They played each other head to head and they won. It's easy, but instead you choose the impossible path. Why? Because you don't have a clue what you're doing. It's not bias. They're just, I'm sorry, they're morons. They have no idea what they're watching.
And just keep it consistent. You didn't move Alabama because they lost by 21 to Georgia. And I'm okay with the Alabama conversation of, well, we can't de-incentivize conference championships. Okay. I actually do understand that talk track, and I'm actually okay with it because you look at them on a 12-team basis. They beat Georgia at Georgia. All of those conversations become real. But if you do that, keep it consistent because you had BYU in between Notre Dame and Miami, and you had to move them down because they lost in a conference championship to Texas Tech. You moved them to bring those teams together. So not only did you change the rankings between Miami and Notre Dame and flip them, which I think is right in the end, but has been wrong all season. So you've lied all season long. But you didn't move Alabama because they lost the conference, and you moved BYU.
I want to say something today, and I ask you to remember this. I'm going to try to remember this, and I also ask the listeners of this program to remember this. Next year, if ASU is in these conversations on a weekly basis where Tuesday rolls around and we care about where they rank in the college football playoff, I need everybody that listens to this program to call me on those Tuesdays and remind me to not pay attention because it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter where these teams are because as you saw, Miami and Notre Dame were in a certain spot one day. Both teams didn't play. They got moved. So it doesn't matter. So I am not going to lose sleep. I'm not going to waste airtime. I'm not going to waste my breath discussing where ASU is in a certain playoff ranking next year because it doesn't bleeping matter. That's where we're going to end this. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to hang out with us here today on the program. When we come back, probably more on this. We'll get to the rest of the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. It's called The Leftovers. We'll do it next. The lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think the average 26 years old, Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Florence and the Machine presents the Everybody Scream Tour. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Saturday, May 9th. The incomparable Florence and the Machine returns. With special guest, Mannequin Pussy. On sale now at livenation.com. The new album, Everybody Scream, available now.
Everybody Scream. Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1garage.com, A1 from day one.
This holiday season, elevate your event at Talking Stick Resort. From breathtaking views and a world-class golf course to 113,000 square feet of flexible event space, every detail sets the stage for an unforgettable holiday party. Whether it's cocktails under the stars or a fully produced banquet with state-of-the-art AV, Talking Stick has it all. Plus a luxurious spa for next-day recovery. Secure your celebration today. Talking Stick Resort, Scottsdale's premier destination for celebration. Life well played.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m., right here on KTUS AM 1060 and the KTUS 1060 app.
Back here to wrap up the Monday edition of the Lunch Break on KDUS AM 1060. Listeners are not happy with me for waiting until the end of the program to talk about the college football playoff. Brian,
I don't blame him.
Brian says that the program director in me needs to talk to the on-air talent in me as to the mistake that I made here. Now, I don't know how I would even remotely attempt to have that conversation.
I got to tell you, Brian, hand up. I think that's on the producer of the program.
Yeah, I mean, that's where you step in and say no. But here's the thing. There's no ASU tie to this. So
there's no local tie.
Right, I'm not
other than the Fiesta Bowl, January 8th. I'm not a date on that.
Let's look at the first hour of this program. I'm not going to not lead with the Cardinals.
You have to.
Diamondbacks made a move today. Okay.
For Mike Soroka, but
they made a move. We then have the rewind. And then we have buy or sell. So there's no real spot in the first hour for it to go.
We could have opened with it.
I could have opened hour number 2 of the program.
We could have.
We could have. Maybe.
Again, there's no tie.
No. I'm okay with what we did. Mainly because I didn't curse and I didn't say.
I got to tell you, to be honest with you,
composed.
I thought I was going to get real heated.
I mean, it's just there was
a couple things today I was getting nervous on how heated we would get.
I think I called the College Football Playoff Committee morons at one point. I think that's about as far as I got.
You got really blinded.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not good at this.
Not at all.
There's inconsistencies all over the place.
And I get it. I know it's a hard job. No, it's not that hard.
But see, it is a hard job. They choose to make it harder. This was easy. If you just keep Miami in front of Notre Dame
the whole time. I was going to say, my problem isn't that Miami is in over Notre Dame.
No.
My problem is you've put them in over Notre Dame for 6 straight weeks. And then the last week, when they both didn't play, you changed it.
And it's not like you have 2 teams that, like, Notre Dame's got 5 losses, and they're still, for whatever reason, hanging around these rankings. Okay, then you can keep them far apart. But if they're going to be in the same cluster, then it should always be a factor.
Always.
But no. Why choose the easy path?
Eagles Chargers tonight on Monday Night Football.
Big game, which we'll recap tomorrow during the NFL News Dump. Everybody have a great rest of your Monday. Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya.